Getting into Guided Math by me, Taylor George. In this video, you will learn about what guided math is, the benefits to guided math, the role of assessment in guided math, and the strategies for independent work and well-behaved students during the guided math centers. So first, what is guided math? Guided math is basically a way to differentiate math instruction. So by using guided math, you are able to meet the needs of all your students. Guided math will look different for every teacher, but it always involves creating groups with students of similar math abilities or struggles. The teacher will work with each group separately on what they are struggling with, while the other students who aren't meeting with the teacher are working in centers on math-related activities or games or seat work. An example of what a guided math lesson may look like begins with a warm-up, which can be a number talk or problem of the day, just something to get the student's brain going. Then, you'll move on to guided practice with a mini lesson. The mini lesson should only take 10 to 15 minutes and should be done as a whole group on a particular concept, which can be reviewing, vocabulary development, breaking down the skill, or just simply practicing with the teacher. After the mini lesson, guided math groups begin. However many groups the teacher sees is up to them, but for this example, the teacher will see 3 groups for 15 minutes. The groups that the teacher polls will be working on content that they know or don't know. It all depends on what the teacher wants to focus on. While the teacher is working with small groups, the other students participate in independent practice, which can be centers or seat work. This will look different depending on the needs of the students. Lastly, the guided math lesson will end with a whole group wrap-up session. This will involve reflecting and reviewing what was learned today, students sharing their thoughts and work, and collecting any papers. So what are the benefits of guided math instruction? As you can see, this method is fairly simple and provides many benefits not only for the teacher, but the students as well. As I mentioned above, guided math is all about differentiating math instruction. By differentiating the instruction for all the students, the teacher is meeting the needs of her entire class. This means no student is working on problems that are outside of their ability. In guided math, students work on just right problems in their zone of proximal development. This will help the students succeed because they won't be struggling and giving up because they don't understand the problems. Using guided math will encourage and motivate students to keep working hard because they know they can do it. In addition, incorporating different centers and/or activities also helps tap into students' individual learning styles and interests, which will help them stay engaged. By having the students participate in different math activities, the teacher is providing her students with ways to make math more fun and interesting. These activities may also help certain students understand the math concept better. Lastly, the teacher is able to reteach, reinforce, and expand on concepts, strategies, and skills. Since the teacher is working with different groups, she is able to reteach any concepts that they may be struggling with, reinforce a strategy that they just learned, or expand on a new skill. Having the small groups allows the teacher to address these concerns and/or ideas with the students who need it, rather than making it a whole class problem. These 3 reasons are why teachers should incorporate guided math into their classrooms. It's an effective way to make math instruction more engaging and to ensure all the students are able to learn and expand their math knowledge. The role of assessment in guided math instruction. With any teaching method, assessment must be used to see how the students are progressing. In guided math, assessment is very important because it shows how each student is doing and if they need to change groups because they are excelling or struggling. In guided math, the assessment needs to be balanced, which means the teacher is continually looking at the whole student in a variety of ways. For example, at the beginning of the school year, the teacher could hand out a math profile to see how each student feels about math. Then, she can give them a pre-assessment to help form the different math groups. This will be done as a whole group over the new chapter, and then the students will complete a survey individually over the topic. This will help determine which students know what. This information, as well as data collected from written quizzes, will help divide the students into groups. Once in the groups, ongoing assessments will be given by the teacher, which will help monitor the students' learning. This can be done by using graphic organizers where the teacher gets one to show who is getting what we are doing, and the student gets one to check their progress. Ongoing self-assessments is an essential part of data collection. After collecting all this data, the teacher should confer with the students at least twice a semester to go over their progress. Assessments can be given in a variety of different ways: checklists, exit slips, running records, interviews, surveys, and many more. All these ways help provide information on how each student is progressing. And lastly, strategies for independent work during math centers. One thing teachers worry about with guided math is the independent practice the students must do while the teacher is working with the group. To make sure the class is well behaved and is able to effectively work independently, the teacher should practice with the students how the guided math small groups work. They should go through each step without actually doing the activities so they can get a sense of what to do. Once they've practiced the first few weeks of school, the teacher should place anchor charts around the room to remind the students what to do during centers. The teacher should also have the centers in ready-to-go containers so the students are able to get the materials without disrupting the teacher. Also, centers should last between 10 to 15 minutes so the students are always moving to something new to keep them engaged. Lastly, each student should have a folder to keep all their papers from the centers. This will help with cleanup and making sure each student knows where their work is. Math centers will run smoothly if the teacher has task cards, scaffolded worksheets, leveled centers, and student reflection sheets. If a teacher uses the above strategies, students will know how to behave and be independent during guided math. Don't worry, you got this.